We decided about 9 months ago that we were going to be playing shows in October. We didn't know what we were going to do, and we didn't know sort of how it was going to come together. And but we decided that we wanted to do something in October, to be out playing, and then Kelly just started asking around other band managers what they were doing, and sort of that's kind of the impetus for how this sort of thing got started, which is everyone basically said they were interested, they were planning on doing something, so we all said, well, we might as well collectivify and sort of do something together.
Ties them all, fills it up with his past, gets carried away. Oh, half his life, hand me down, wasted away. Oh, it fills it up with the love of a girl.
You know, this is just one small part of what so many other people are doing to get out the vote on all kinds of levels. So it's not about what this tour might do, but it's what it might add to the fabric of what's already happening out there.
Drill the pain with money to buy. How he makes his getaway. Says get away.
The obvious answer is, of course, to influence people to vote for John Kerry and he win the election. If that's not the case, then we only have 4 more years, and that, at least we know that that's the fact.
Chose a path, hit a fall, caught it a fool. He fills his nights with the love of a girl. How it makes his getaway. How it makes his getaway.
Come away from this tour saying, all right, that was a total success?
You know what, if maybe there was 20 votes somewhere, maybe there was, a handful somewhere that we might have, had a direct influence on, it'd be killer.
And I think if I was a Bush guy, I don't know if I could go out on this tour, because we're trying to get Bush out of office with this tour. I mean, it's not just like, hey, we're getting people to vote or a rock the vote thing. It's like vote for change. So.
This is Dr. Geek, and you could be quoting. This is the documentary about voting. Listen to the thing that I'm unfolding about voting. You gotta make your choice to. Hold on. No, just stop.
Well, if you don't vote, it's as if you didn't live in a free country, because you're letting me decide for you. So it's really important that everybody goes and votes, because then they decide for themselves.
somebody had a heart attack and a rushed to vote. That's why the fire truck came, is no joke.
The senior citizens, people like me, we've been voting for 100 years. And we can't seem to change anything, but I think the young people could if they registered and got out there and voted.
You got to make sure this isn't a joke. Get off your butt and go cast your vote.
Moral. I think our government should have more morals. In other words, you know, from day to day you see the president and all these guys with Bible under their arm going to church, and at the same time, you know, they're not living up to the standards of God.
You can't complain if you don't do your thing. VOTE should be all in your brain.
That particular job is pretty much a losing job for anyone that wins. Whether you get the job or I get the job or Bush gets the job, it's still a bad job. And you can't do a good job when you have a bad job.
It's American way all day, opposed to open on a Tuesday.
You know, music can be that it maybe shouldn't be partisan, but it's so important this time that they're realizing their power may influence. I'm not sure if it really influences anybody, but I think it's great. Well, is everybody here because Dave's coming or something?
I think Pearl Jam's showing up here in a minute. So.
No, you're kidding. Oh my God, you're kidding.
Player Jim Crosby. Please welcome back to the program, Pearl Jam. Call me masters of war. You're that bell on the gun. You that bell the death blaze. You that bell of the gun. You that hide behind wall. You that hide behind death. I just want you to know I can see through your mess. You that never done nothing but build to destroy. Oh, you play with our world like it was your little toy. You put a gun in my head and you hide from my eyes, and you turn and run far when the fast bullets fly. Like Judas Saul, oh, you're lying to deceive. A world war can be won. You want us to believe, but I see through your eyes, and I see through your brain, like I see through the water that runs down my drain. You're passing all the triggers for the others to find. Then you sit back and watch as the death count gets high. You're hiding white nations while young people's blood throws out of their bodies and is buried in the mud. You've thrown the worst fear that could ever be heard. The fear to bring children into this world. For threatening my baby, just born and just lived. You ain't worth the blood that flows through your veins. Is your money that good? Will it bear your forgiveness? Or do you think that it's poor? Well, I think you will find when your death excess toll, all the money you made will never buy back your soul. How much do I know to talk out of turn? They all say they wear yours. They all say we're unlearned. But there's one thing we know, that we're younger than them. Even Jesus would never forget what they do. And I hope that you die, and your death will come soon. I will follow your casket in the pale afternoon, and I watch as you walk into your deathbed, and I'll stand over your grave till I'm sure that you're dead.
Good to see you. Thank you for being here. Pearl Jam, everybody.
That's the main thing. Get people out and exercise your right to vote.
Right. And why is it so important?
Well, it's your privilege and right to vote, and everybody should vote.
Right.
If you want to stay in this government, you have to vote.
Why do you need to get Bush out? Why is it important to get Bush
First
out?
of all, I think he's not for the senior citizens.
Yep.
I don't think he's for the ordinary working man. We've lost over 4,000 jobs right here in Berks County because of going overseas.
Back next year I go on Social Security. Not Social Security, on Medicare.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows what's going to be there for me? By the time you get up where, as my age, there may be nothing left.
It's good to have split opinions because it opens up debate, it opens up discussion, and it's good that the whole country, or most of the country, doesn't lean one way or the other. I think it's good for discussion. Discussion is the most important thing when making a decision as a country.
I never like the choices that they give you anyway. So.
But you gotta choose one.
No, I don't have to choose anything.
What about
it's my right not to choose?
Like the way I used to think, like, oh, the government will run itself. And that's what I used to always think. Until it came so close 4 years ago. I was like, oh, maybe my vote really will matter. Maybe I should become educated and listen to it because I hate uneducated voters and I don't want to be one of those.
He just seems like a flat-out liar to me. I don't know what it is. I don't particularly like John Kerry either. But even if he's the second worst president in history, he's better than Bush.
I'm happy. I feel safe. That's important. That's another important aspect of the election, feeling safe. I mean, you got kids. Who would you rather your kids walk across the street with? John Kerry or George Bush?
I'd take Kerry, yeah.
I imagine, I pray, I hope that political discourse and politics in general can evolve where it's at right now, which is a very sort of divisive and almost black and white way of looking at the world. I guess, I don't know.
Because of the type of tour that this is, there are kind of more songs that lean to the political end of things, and we learned a bunch of fun covers that from like 80, kind of Reagan era punk rock lyrics, that lend themselves, a couple of word changes, and it's exactly what's going on right now. There's a Dead Kennedy song, an Avengers song, a song by the Germs called Lion's Share. It's been fun just to be able to throw those things in the set and kind of mix it up a little bit.
What about it? Are you kidding me? I'll go to war right now.
The strongest
nation. Go to war right now?
Step it up. Step it up. I would go to war in a heartbeat.
No, you
step right now. You tell me step it up. You gotta step it up. You understand? Step it up. What do you mean? What is this all about? You know how we got this freedom? We got this freedom because of war, because we stepped up. Where's my boy? Yo, my boy is nice that we really can. Yo,
And we're going to continue, but the last thing I'll say is anybody who is undecided, being undecided it's very dangerous. And I have a perfect illustration. People with mullets, that's indecision. Tuned in, but he tuned out. A bad time, nothing could save him. Alone in a corridor, waiting locked out. He got up out of there, ran for hundreds of miles. Made it to the ocean, had a smoke in a tree. Wind rose up, sent him down on his knees. A wind came crashing like a fisted jaw. Delivered him, we say, look at me now. Arms wide open with the sea of his fall. Yes, man, yeah, fuckers. You still stand.
By the process a little bit,
I think you touched on it earlier about the two parties being very similar in their views, so they probably think that, well, you know, they don't like either party, so why vote, right?
But really, I mean, the last election you saw that every vote did count.
Yeah.
I mean, they were recounting, you know, they came down to hundreds, and they were, you know, it was really, you know, the bottom line, just to even participate keeps this democracy thriving, because...
Yeah, we see the teenage kids on the college campuses wearing the Not My President shirts and all that kind of stuff. They're not the ones that show up and vote, you know, unfortunately, and all the...
So this idea of democracy, the same democracy that they're trying to put in place and soldiers are dying for, and it's so important, it's not being used here. What are we getting out of this? What are we getting out of this war? What are we getting out of it? You know? It's costing money that they're taking from social programs to fund the war. So you could say that the poor people are paying for the war. Who's fighting the war? Poor folks? Guys who are getting in the army because they don't have another way of paying for an education, or, you know, have a baby and get some medical care and all that. So they're fighting it, and who's profiting? Only a small group of really rich guys who just happen to be best friends with the guys in office. So if you really think, we got some time? Sound check.
Seems to be more connections with the Saudis and Al-Qaeda than there ever was with Saddam. I mean, he's like this with the Saudis, Bushes. I mean, so I think he's looking at the wrong country.
And who knows what they're, you know, I just don't, they've gotten us into a big mess because of their needs. And they've taken care of their friends. They've forgotten about us, and that's why we gotta get our voice out. Anyways, I gotta go to sound check, I guess, but it's nice meeting y'all.
ain't know nothing about Pearl Jam until I went to the junkyard and found one of them wanted cassette player. Cassettes.
Oh, yeah?
Tracks? Yeah, no, cassettes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Pearl Jam. I didn't know it was white or black.
America has felt this way for the past 4 years.
Woo! 200 billion should have been spent on fucking education,
day.
baby. Education changed the world.
Urban education is the cause. Oh, he's been drinking all day.
And I'm a public school teacher. I teach 8th grade civics. And at the beginning of the year, I asked my students, it said 16 of the 19 hijackers on September 11th came from the same country. What country did they come from? More than 50% of them put Iraq as the answer when the correct answer is Saudi Arabia. So it's like, how did we get to this point where the majority of my students, and I told them, you know, don't feel bad, the most Americans feel this way too. How did we get to this point? You know, the answer is that we were misled.
Are they something like Journey?
It's kind of like 90s Journey, yeah.
Oh,
it's
or
like
upbeat.
yeah, it's like
Creed. Like Creed?
It's like Creed, but before Creed.
This one goes out to Johnny Ramone. I'm out here kicking with the birds.
here, but I'm here right now, dude, and I'm trying to get people registered to vote, especially women. Last year, 22 million single women did not vote in the presidential election. Well, not last year, but you know, in the presidential election. So, I mean, gosh, as women, it's a horrible thing.
You all registered to vote?
Hell yeah, we are.
Yeah? All right.
He is.
You're not?
But I had an epiphany.
Oh, yeah?
I honestly did. Like, I've been listening to Eddie talk about this for like a couple years now, like at the shows, and I have a really hard time like compromising my issues, you know what I mean? So,
No, what are those issues? I don't know what you mean.
well, I am totally anti-abortion,
Uh-huh.
but I don't agree with what Bush is doing in Iraq, so I have a hard time like weighing a life kind of a thing, do you know what I
Right.
mean? But
Not that it matters. You're not registered to vote, so who cares what you think?
I heard you guys talking. You know where I can register to vote by any chance?
Yeah, there's a lady right down the road here. Right here. I'll show you.
I just turned 18, so I got to register. And what better place to register than a Pearl Jam concert?
All right, it's a lot more fun than going to the post office.
Yeah, man. I found out it was the last day today, so better go register while I can. Every vote counts, right?
Not necessarily, but that's what they say.
I'm gonna save you for good, I'm not gonna rush you. I'm feeling cocky and strong, can't let you go. You're too important to me, too important to us. We'd be lost without you. Oh baby, let yourself fall, I'm below you now. Follow me if I say something.
And my children entered the military after 9/11. They're both in the Marine Corps. They felt it was important for themselves in this country. And I do feel that. But the decisions that are made by our politicians are not the decisions of this country, I don't believe. Not at this time. And it's time for a change in this country. And they're starting something here, and maybe it'll catch on. So as a fan of the band, as an American, as a veteran, and as a father, I'm here to support this.
Come on, vote instead. Oh, let's pick up your will. Let's go back to Lacy. I'm sympathetic as well. Oh, don't go on me now. And I'm not leaving this life without you. I'm selfish and clear. And you're not leaving here without me. I don't wanna be without best friend. To see you.
But if he wasn't going over there, he'd be with you all tonight, probably.
exactly. He was supposed to go tonight.
That's his name
That's
right
his
there.
ticket, and that's his
his
name.
ticket.
That's our boy, fighting for that bull crap. That's our guy. He would be here tonight.
Piece of that.
He's got to leave tomorrow.
Yeah, going back to Camp Lizard more training than going to Iraq in like February. So I'm registered to vote. Bush, of course. Bush. Because we don't want Kerry coming in here fucking up the whole military thing. And he's gonna.
So what about the situation in Iraq? Are we supposed to be in Iraq?
It had to be done. And who's gonna do it? Canada? No.
Let's see the world. Oh, let's pick up your soul. Oh man, I say something you don't wanna hear from me. From me, if you wanna hear what you wanna hear. He said me to help you. Help yourself. Help me, help yourself.
given away our airwaves to non-objective sources, and we don't have much control over it. You know, I think Jefferson would be very upset with the way things have gone. We're not involved in, it's not a matter of what we're deciding, but that we're deciding on the basis of very little honest information and discussion.
The good news is that you can still register to vote tonight, even in the back of this venue on your way out, and you've got tomorrow as well. So there's still time to get in and participate in our democracy and have a voice. And you know what? We don't even care how you vote. We just care that you vote. Actually, you know what? That's a lie. We care. That's why we're here. In the river shall open for the righteous. In the river shall open for the righteous. In the river shall open for the righteous. Someday I was walking with my brother, and he wondered, oh, how I am. I said what I believe with my soul ain't what I see with my eyes, and there's no turning back this time. I am a patriot, and I love my country, because my country is all I know. I wanna be with my family, people who understand me. Oh, I got no place left to go. I am a patriot. I was walking with my boyfriend. He looked so fine. I said, baby, what's on your mind?
Here we are in St. Louis. I think you're our first interview.
Yeah, okay then.
You believe these guys, what they're saying?
Well, Bush, he just raced into the war and got people killed. In the United States, I mean, our soldiers getting killed every day. As I'm speaking now, someone is dying for nothing.
Ain't no communist, and I ain't no socialist, and I ain't no capitalist, and I ain't no imperialist, and I ain't no Democrat. Sure as fucking no Republican either.
I really think voting is really necessary. I mean, do your vote count? Each individual vote counts.
What do you think?
I don't think they count each individual vote. I really don't.
I'm a patriot, and I love my country.
They didn't have anything planned for after the war. As far as I'm concerned, that war isn't ended. As long as our people are dying over there, that war is not ended. He said it ended a year ago. It hasn't.
And a river shall open for the righteous, and a river shall open for the righteous someday. Someday, soon someday.
Help get out the vote. It's MoveOn.org, and they're going to send out emails before Election Day to give you ideas on how to get the vote out in your neighborhood and your community. Hi. How are you?
I don't suppose I could sign anything.
What's that?
I don't suppose I could get an autograph, could I?
I can't do autographs, but would you autograph this?
Thanks for your help for the cause. Appreciate
Sure,
it.
no problem. Have you guys signed up for the MoveOn.org Leave No Voter Behind? It's going to motivate people in local communities to get out to vote. What they're going to do is they're going to send emails before Election Day to give you ideas in your neighborhood and community how to get out to vote in your area.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
What would you say is your number one issue when you're thinking about a candidate or thinking about voting?
Honesty. I mean, all you hear is these hundreds of lies that each one is saying about the other, and it just becomes... That's why people don't want to vote. They don't want to engage their energy in that sort of thing.
What was your number one?
Mainly honesty. Like somebody that can give you the right answer and not try to beat around the bush and leave you in the dark.
Shit is a noun. You should be able to say a noun. What if you tell your girlfriend, like, baby, you're the shit? That's the best. You can't say that? Is this all because some publicity whore, like say Janet Jackson, showed her titty on TV to get press for herself? And now we can't say shit? I'm glad we're not on TV. I'm glad we're in this room where we can say shit, fuck, asshole, cock, motherfucker, something, whatever the fuck we want. And because we live in America and we still have freedom of speech, we don't have to just say that the president misled you and misled the public into war. We can say that the president fucking lied.
Surge in voter registration.
Last chance to register.
According to the most recent figures, the state's number of registered voters has already increased by 500,000 compared to 2000. And it's not just Ohio. Other key states like Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Oregon have experienced similar increases. In Florida alone, it was reported that nearly 600,000 new voters signed up between January.
I make sure I vote every election. You know, even though I just moved out to Polk County, I've already got my new voter registration card.
And why do you think it's important?
I think it's important because there's a lot of voter apathy where these people, they don't like the government they have, but you know, they don't get out and vote. You know, because a lot of people didn't vote last time, and that's why that election was so screwed up.
You have to read and watch a lot and do your own thinking about it. Just don't, because somebody made a statement doesn't make it so. So I think you have to really spend time reading and watching lots of programs with information, because after a while you begin to note inconsistencies and it starts you to think about, you know, things yourself. And I think that's very important.
I think that just a lot of people, not just in Florida but everywhere, are apathetic. You know, they just don't care. They don't think their vote's going to count. They don't think that anything that they say or do is going to matter. I think too many people in the country just don't care, you know.
glass. Oh, they send you off to war. And when you ask them, how much should we give? Oh, they only ask for more and more and more and more. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no president's son. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no coaching boy. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no CIA son. It ain't me, it ain't me. I ain't no coaching boy. I can't see as well as I'd like to, but I'd like to thank you, and you, and you, all of you, all of you. If we can give a quick hand to all the crew that's been on this tour, all our sound people, light people, crew people, security people, everyone that tried to make it nice for you, made it nice for us. And the bands that have been on this tour with us, Gob Roberts and Death Cab for Cutie. They're gonna make it to the stage right now to play a song with us. We've never done this before, champagne on stage. This is kind of elitist, isn't it? If I eat the glass after I drink it, is that punk? Can I do that? There are colors on the street, red, white, and blue.
What we're doing, where we're going?
We're going to Schmitz Elementary School, West Seattle, to vote, just to make it official. I'm actually kind of nervous, which is funny because I wasn't really nervous the whole time we were out there, but you get up this morning and watch CNN and Fox News and you get nervous all of a sudden, like shit.
What are you nervous
Here it
about?
is. About the possibility of there being 4 more years of the shit that we just put up with.
This is the local elementary school, and we're here to vote. After all this, it's just a vote. Actually, no, it's interesting. There's a song that we didn't play on tour. It ended up being a B-side. I think it's called Undone or something. And I can't believe I was thinking about it this morning as I was writing something else. But I think there's a line like, "Can't wait for election day." That was 3 years ago. Yeah. I've never seen it to this extent, though. I think you've really outdone yourself. You know, if somehow the worst case scenario, the Bush administration gets in again, you know, you don't really have to accept it. I think if anything, it'll kind of galvanize this movement to expose the real truth of what's been happening, from, you know, who's been profiting from the war, and the reasons why we got into it, and there's so much of that information's out already.
Yeah.
I think that's when you start looking to the media for, you know, they have to be more responsible.
Well, the one thing that we talked about yesterday was all the fuck Bush t-shirts that we have. If Bush wins, the good thing is that we can wear those shirts for 4 more years.
They play on their fears, and they say that a vote for a Democrat is a vote for loss of your right to have guns, gay marriage, and pro-choice. This is what it's all about. It's not about anything but, you know, there's going to be gays everywhere and abortion clinics on every corner, and you won't be able to shoot them.
Bobby predicts Bush by 11:03. Where are we right now? I'll check.
We're deep in the woods, Paula, because this is going to be a long, hard fight. The word I get is that Ohio, which a lot of the Republicans have given up to Kerry, is coming back to Bush. And it's very, very close. And you've got punch card ballots in Ohio. You've got voting on. That's going to be a long targets of Bush and four states. Louisiana, 30% voting, and Kerry has a 60,000 voting.